I've been in the industry for quite a while now. I've led agency role, I've been agency side, I've been client side, and currently I run the global SEO program for Vodafone. So that's run across 22 markets, 70 partner markets, and I design and implement how SEO is rolled out across the group. So obviously mobile is a huge part of my day-to-day life. And I thought I'd start off with some mobile growth stats from our network. So basically, data usage has grown massively for Vodafone in the last year. So we've grown 71% over the last year. That's been some pretty large growth. 43% of our customers now use data, which again is up 40% year on year. And video accounts for a third of that traffic across our network. So you know, people are talking about video and video rollout. Video is absolutely huge. And this kind of fits into traffic as well. And I can show you this. This is basically group aggregated data. Oh, I've got a soundtrack behind me. This is quite good. This is some aggregated group data from across our network in terms of SEO traffic. And you can see here with the blue line is desktop traffic, the red line is mobile traffic. And you can see that we quite clearly reached the mobile tipping point, and that happened in December. So, and then this kind of fits what Google's been telling us as well. As Google said last year that they'd basically seen the mobile tipping point for their global searches, and that 3 billion people are connected to the internet today, half of them through mobile. So this is the time of mobile. I know we've been saying this for years. You know, now is the year of mobile. It has actually happened. You know, categorically. You know, and we've seen this across our network. We've seen it across our sites. And hopefully those of you that are running brand sites have also been seeing this and across your agency clients. Mobile has become the primary way for people to access the internet in a lot of cases. South Africa is quite an interesting one for me here. It's 55% of my clients in South Africa, customers in South Africa, access internet through mobile rather than desktop. UK is at about 27%. People access through mobile rather than desktop. So mobile is becoming a really important way of us accessing and using the internet. It is the primary way. We're tethered to our devices 24/7, and you'll see this every time you get on the train, and I've seen this in countries that I've visited. It's not just the UK. Everyone is tethered to their phone. So given a few minutes, we'd rather than talk to each other, we'll sit there and we'll check our email, we'll check our phones. So this is where we're spending our time, and this is part of the reason why the mobile search query volume has been increasing so much. It's the time that we spend with our devices. You see, on average, Google says we spend 3 hours a day on average with our smartphone. It's a huge amount of time. So I'm here to talk about kind of SEO, so how your SEO team can kind of help you become mobile first or prepare for mobile first. How many people here are in the SEO field? One. Oh, it's quite a few. And how many are in-house? Cool. An agency? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so there's a lot that your SEO team can do to get you ready for mobile, and I'll take you through these. I've kind of got 10 areas that I want you to look at, and if you can get up to speed on these 10 areas, then you're pretty much there for mobile first. So the first one is your SEO team kind of helps you get the structure of your website ready. So you're getting your site to be responsive, and if you haven't basically moved to responsive already, then you're already behind on the mobile revolution. So you really need a responsive website. It's absolutely essential 101 mobile best practice. So get that implemented. Secure web, HTTP. We have finally got a new HTTP protocol, HTTP2. This works. This is faster than HTTP. You can only access this if you're already using SSL, if you're on the secure web. And you can see that everything Google's done in the last couple of years has been pushing people to use HTTPS. They want to secure the web. So it's absolutely vital that you make that move to HTTPS. So if you haven't done that, you know, these are the technical things you need to look at immediately. And performance. Performance has become a really big part of mobile optimization. Google doesn't like slow mobile sites. And we can talk about some of the things that they've given us to help us with that, such as AMP. But performance goes beyond AMP. It's basically understanding that you need to make your websites load as quick as possible. we've got some second, yeah, I mean, 40% of people are banned on a website that takes longer than 3 seconds to load. That's pretty brutal, really, for a lot of us. I think we've really struggled with the My Vodafone app. How many people have My Vodafone app here in the UK? Yeah, that's pretty slow, isn't it? Yeah. So I think we've had up to 27 seconds on that. It's been really bad. So you really have to speed these things up. So my first technique, accelerated mobile pages. How many people have heard of AMP pages? Quite a few. How many people are using them? Not many. This always really surprises me. It's like there aren't many people using these mobile techniques. So AMP pages, this is a protocol that Google released to help us produce really lightweight, fast web pages. If you have WordPress, you can literally implement this with a plugin. The Yoast plugin will work for this. So literally, bang it on, 3 seconds later, you've got AMP pages. AMP pages are particularly good for content, so publishing news, lightweight content. They're not good for sort of heavier web pages. But if you're producing blog content, you're producing content for users, in that way, then AMP's something you should absolutely look at. Last Halloween, Google actually implemented forms within AMP pages. So pretty soon, AMP pages will be used for far more than just content pages. And if you see Baidu pick this up last week, this protocol is getting rolled out pretty extensively. So get on board with the AMP project, but also look at performance generally, because the AMP developers have said that if you put rubbish in, you'll get rubbish out with AMP. So also look at your servers, the size of your images, other sort of normal performance issues as well alongside AMP. Featured snippets. We get really excited about featured snippets. Again, this SEOs really. You can see an example of a featured snippet there on the right. These are the little kind of information boxes that you get on web and mobile results. Google is basically picking certain pages to give us these featured snippets, and it's free advertising. So Google will stick you at the top of that page, top of listing, free advertising, linking to your site. And they'll do this, there's no cost involved in this at all. HubSpot have found click-through rate increases of up to 114% for this, for just getting these listings. And this is something that you don't see a lot of people really trying to get. We monitor these across our sites, we monitor them across our competitors, and we try to win as many of these as we can each month, because it's extra traffic. And this has largely been driven by a change in our kind of search habits. We think in terms of questions and answers, and Google, in kind of getting ready for mobile, Google knows that this is how we will search in the future. We won't search in terms of keywords, we'll search in terms of phrases. So this is why there's kind of a 19% growth in featured snippets. Here's some examples from Vodafone. You see here for fibre broadband, ADSL broadband, we get that top listing. And that's something your SEO team can be doing straight away, right now. And it's actually very easy to do this. I've given you my 2 favourite references for doing this. So if you'd like to sort of give these to the relevant team, I'll let you photograph that. They can get this implemented pretty much immediately. So I'll give you a bit more time to photograph that. And that'll literally lay out step by step what you need to do to get these listings. It's not a secret. This is what I like about a lot of mobile SEO. It's not a secret. It's not a black box. Google's actually given you very explicit tips on how to do these things, partly because they want mobile to work as much as anybody. Schema Richcards. You'll see that these are available for movies and for recipes. Again, Google is giving us free exposure in mobile listings if we just mark up our pages with Schema. This again is something that's incredibly easy to do. I'll give you a little tip. If you're struggling to get this implemented with your development team, then use a tag management solution. Google Tag Manager works brilliantly. You can use Google Tag Manager, you can put in all your schema via Google Tag Manager across the website. Don't need to touch the page at all. So this can be something that your SEO team does with the Tag Manager access over a couple of days. The huge opportunity with Richcards is that Google will launch them for products fairly soon. And of course, once, obviously in the retailing sense, products is where we want to be with this information. And you'll have free coverage, again, at the top of every mobile listing for your products. So you can have first mover advantage if you get your team onto this now. Mobile app smart banners. This is, if you've got an app already, you can link your app to your web page, which is a very good way of kind of increasing downloads of your app. We've had increases for one of our markets, increase of 35% in terms of download numbers just by linking it through with a smart banner. So if you're paying to push your app, then think about what you could actually do if you're just putting it in the right position strategically into your organic results. You don't need to pay to distribute your app. Again, this is free. You just need one line of code. It's incredibly simple. And Google have launched their own form of smart app banners, which you can see there on the right-hand side, which very few people are using at the moment, but that one's available. And again, they're very, very easy to implement. App indexation, deep and dynamic linking. This is the one I get really excited about. We now have a new form of linking, dynamic linking. What this does, it means we can now link into a certain page within our app. We don't have to link to the front page of the app and then let users kind of get lost in the navigation. We can link to a specific function. And I think this is how our relationship between the web and app is changing, is revolutionizing that relationship. Because we're no longer pushing people to download the app for its own sake, unless it's a game, something like that. If you've got any kind of other functionality in your app, you're pushing the user to do something specific in your app. You're giving them a reason to go to your app. To give you a kind of practical example for this, we can let people top up through our app. Obviously, we let people top up through the web as well. But if they go to our app, then we've lost about 2 steps in the process. So within Vodafone India, we're actually pushing the result to be an app result. The deep dynamic linking will take users to their app. It will open up their app. Actually, checking on the Google India, it's going to be released roughly in about a week's time. The user then will open up the app, and they'll be able to top up within the app. If they don't have the app installed already, then it'll download the app, and then it'll open up within that page within the app. And if you consider that we're paying quite a lot of money to push the My Vodafone app, and we have 364,000 searches per month for online recharge, you see the rationale behind kind of indexing this material and getting it into the search results. Because this is traffic that we already have, traffic that we own, and we can push it into our app. So this is a very good way of kind of increasing app downloads, increasing app distribution. And I think you're going to see a lot more of this. It's quite interesting how few people have implemented this. I've got the social teams really excited because they realize they can use this same linking, and I'll do this through Firebase as a recommendation. They can give out this link in their social campaigns and take people directly to that page in the app. You can send this link out in email, and those people who click the email link will then take into the App Store, will download the app, open the app, and they can top up in a special offer. And that can be personalized, that entire journey can be personalized. So it's a very, very fantastic bit of functionality, this, and I think we're going to get far more involved in it over the next few years. Development of voice search and assistants. This is kind of where mobile search is going to. We're all going to have assistants. We're going to have the same thing as Siri. Voice searches have really gone through the roof for the last kind of year or so. This feeds back into featured snippets, because you guess what Google's taking as a result for voice search? They're taking the featured snippet. So if you win those featured snippets, you're going to have the result on voice. We have new APIs to reduce friction. And again, this is about speeding up the mobile experience. So Google's encouraging people to use social APIs. They're encouraging to use public available APIs to basically speed up the experience for users. It's all about how fast you can make your mobile experience, and that will help you with your rankings. Login is a really big problem for mobile. I think a lot of the password reminder systems that we have are really made with web in mind, not with mobile. If you get your password wrong and you have to go then to resend your email, you have to check your email, you have to copy and paste from the email, a lot of these processes really haven't been thought through for mobile. We're making websites behave more like apps, and this is all about breaking down the silos between those environments, between the app environment, the mobile web environment, the desktop environment. We have the ability to push notifications now on a website. So if you have sorry, that's got very loud. If you have a basket on your site, you can do a push notification if that user has left items in the basket. That can be incredibly useful. It can be incredibly annoying as well. I've seen that the people who've really moved on this have been a lot of bloggers, and they're pushing notifications for every new blog post that they release. So this may die a horrible death fairly soon. But hopefully, sort of within e-commerce, we can use it for ways that are a lot more sensible. And that will happen irrespective of whether you have the website open. It'll just come through your phone. You don't need that website to be open. Google Instant Apps as well is basically on the horizon. So Google knows that one of the biggest problems we have with mobile apps is storage on our phones. So this is why people don't download apps. I think the average is one app downloaded or 0 apps downloaded per month at the moment. We're not downloading them because we don't want to fill up our phone with junk. So Google's going to start hosting the app and then allowing you to access the app through their network, through their CDN. If you get a chance, go and have a look at PWA Rocks, Progressive Web Apps, and you can see what can be done now through web pages. And a lot of things that we thought were only possible through apps are now possible through web pages. And that kind of goes to my next point, which is consider web or hybrid apps. For a lot of people, the native app is dead. And I think I've actually got a... yeah, that's from Brian McDade. He's one of my colleagues at Vodafone. But he hates native apps, absolutely with a passion. Because we all got involved in this massive development cycle of native apps, and you don't need them in the majority of cases. Because the functionality you're using is very simple, and it can be web-based. And with PWAs, you can emulate a lot of this activity, a lot of the interaction with the phone. You can make something that's cross-browser, cross-compatible, and you don't have a sort of very siloed development process. So really look at what you can do in web apps rather than go native. And the reason for this is, I mean, again, connectivity. So the way that we interact with apps has changed dramatically. I mean, out of all these are the top downloaded apps, really globally. So which of these do you think, guess how many of these work fully offline? Yes. Go for none. None of those work offline. They all degrade very nicely. So the minute you go into the tube, they'll start to degrade, and they'll give you an experience that doesn't break, but they won't work fully. So again, unless you're sort of developing games, or you don't need to worry about offline apps. They don't really exist anymore. And coming to mobile first, all of this kind of circulates back into mobile first, which is the name of this session. So mobile first is going to be the biggest change in Google that we've seen for 8 or 9 years. Absolutely monumental. What Google is doing is it's starting to have results in a preferential order. And it's going to present app results, then mobile web results, then desktop results. So this is really going to change the experience that we give to many of our users. Because I think for a lot of us, mobile traffic has been something that we've kind of had as an add-on feature. We've seen that the traffic is there. We've seen that we need to do something about it. So we've created a mobile experience. But the mobile experience isn't our main experience. It isn't the experience that we really want to show off. But that is. It's mobile first now. That's how it's changing. So that will be the main experience our users have. So how do you go and kind of get around mobile first? And for me, my advice would be look at journeys, because this is such a big task to change. And to take it back to that case study within India, I know that journey in India for online recharge could be a better experience if it was taken through the app. And I know that if I present that app result first, and index that app result first, Google will give me preferential ranking. So out of that sort of 360-odd thousand searches per month, I can move up 2 or 3 places and take sort of 20-30% more of that traffic. So think about different journeys that your users are taking, whether it's in your app environment, your mobile web environment, or your desktop environment, and try to optimize these so that they are mobile first. And there are really successful stories out there. I mean, I love talking about this Dominos success story, which I was involved in Dominos before I joined Vodafone. And I think they really did it right. And if you want to get some inspiration, have a look at what Dominos have done. When they first launched their app, it was 1% in 2012. Last year, 50% of their orders came through the app. And they understand that they need to be where the customers are spending their time. And they're spending their time ordering their pizzas on the way home, on the train. And they've reworked their interface, they've reworked their UI to make it as simple as possible, to cut out as many steps as they can. Think like Amazon, cut out as many of the unnecessary steps as you can for your users. Make it so that the mobile experience is the best experience you could possibly have with your brand. And you will succeed in that area. So, the web has changed dramatically. I've said this is now the year of mobile. If you get a chance, go to this URL, and you can see the State of Mobile by Google. It's a presentation they gave earlier about June. And you really begin to understand that the web is being rewritten now, from the ground up. mobile first will require significant changes across our infrastructure, significant changes across how we deal with the web. So everything's for grabs now. Mobile first will be rolled out sometime this year, and it will have a dramatic impact on the web. But with that kind of dramatic impact, you have opportunity. So this is the time to come in, to take market share, to do things properly for the mobile search queries that are growing exponentially. So yeah, I'm very happy to take any questions anyone has.